What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Accolonn here, and as always, welcome back to each and every one of you, and most importantly, welcome back to Rurikhan. Rurikhan, how you doing, bro?
I am tired as all hell. YouTube is trying to silence and suppress me, but I am here fighting on the good fight, okay? Just like my buddies, the Salvagers. Nice. Look at him. He's gorgeous, okay? The camera won't focus properly, but he's gorgeous. You can trust me on that, okay? That's simple.
He looks good. He looks good. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to apologize for last week. In the process of trying to clean up my drives, I decided, let me just delete all of the unnamed files in my folder. That shouldn't be a problem. And I forgot that I had not yet named the episode.
So
I literally just had to use Rurikhan.
So you just had all of my work. I see how it is. No, I see how it is.
Just your stuff. Yeah.
That's good.
Because as I did it, I was like, wait. That what? No.
A little light bulb clicked in your head and just went like, ugh!
Yeah.
So actually, you can recover that, just in case anybody in the audience ever makes that mistake. That is recoverable, because what happens when you delete a file off of your computer, the file doesn't actually get deleted unless you do like secure delete, which will delete the file and then fill the clusters.
I do shift delete
drive.
always.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It doesn't actually delete the file. So what it does is, imagine that your hard drive is like a shelf, right? And it's a shelf full of stuff, right? And so what happens is when you delete a file, instead of deleting the stuff that's on that shelf, the computer just tells the operating system that shelf is empty. So whenever you are writing new things onto the computer, if the computer...
It'll just write it on top of that.
Yeah, so it'll basically go to the shelf, take the stuff, throw it away, and put something else on there. So if you ever delete a file by mistake, it is still recoverable. The thing is, you need to stop using your computer. Stop doing other things, because it might overwrite that section of the hard drive. So if you want to do recovery, you need to do it as fast as possible after the file's been deleted. So just look up, there's like a zillion different apps that can even do it for free. Some of them you have to pay, but there's a bunch of apps that can actually go and like undelete the file and recover the data for you before it gets overwritten with new data. Yeah, because I've done that mistake plenty of times, and I've gotten the data back plenty of times as well. You can't always get it, but most of the times it's fairly easy to recover. So a little bit of trivia information for everybody out there.
If I knew that, if only I knew that, that would have been much helpful. But hey, at the end of the day, it still went out. People still enjoyed it. We still had a lot of people watching. So
it is.
Thank you so much to all of you. Yeah, it is what it is. Let's talk about the poll. So we had 230 votes. The question was, should studios be more open-minded about game engines? And 91% of the people said yes. You'll be happy to know this.
Surprise.
0% said no. 0%. Like, not a single vote was cast with the intention of saying no.
Damn, man. Holy crap. Tim Sweeney over there going like, hey, what the fuck? What do you mean? My engine's great. Stop that. This is slander.
Yeah, I mean, and I go through the comments because 5% said depends comment, and then 4% just show results. And as I go through the comments, one of the things that really starts to stand out to me is that it's not so much that people necessarily hate Unreal. It's that people almost have Unreal fatigue.
Yeah, there's also that, yeah.
It's like everything just constantly comes out on Unreal, and it looks the same. Like, you can tell. We spoke about this last week. You can tell when a game is made on Unreal.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are just going, man, I don't care. Just give me something else. That's why,
make me feel something.
Yeah, I see Death Stranding 2, and I'm immediately like, oh, that's like a breath of fresh air.
Something different.
Because you can see it's not Unreal, which is at least something. But yeah, I mean, going through the article or going through the comments, it seems like most people, there are some who just hate Unreal, and I understand that. There was a comment here that I really enjoyed.
I also hate Unreal, so I understand.
Oh, here's a comment that I actually enjoyed from Hamburg Express that said Japanese studios tend to prioritize whatever engine is the most easy to work with. I think there was a time when Western AAA studios favored their own engines, but with the current landscape of the industry, I don't think engines matter as much as we expect them to. I think big studios should prioritize being open to adding changes late in development, while also not having to pander to hyper-realistic graphics. A perfect game engine can't fix a lack of creativity and time.
Bro.
I would just like to, on that, pick it up and say, it's not, the whole open to changes might actually be part of the problem. Right? So what people need to understand, when you get to like a year out from development, changes become increasingly more expensive and oftentimes a lot more disruptive as you get closer to it. It's sort of like the same. Prohibitively expensive at times. But you oftentimes require, because the whole game is built around every single experience, if you suddenly decide that you're going to make a giant change in the experience, you may need to actually change almost everything else that may or may not reference this. And you can actually, there are games, I can't remember the name now, but there's a game that I'm thinking of where I played it maybe like a year or two ago. I want to say it was Plague's Tale Innocence. There's a scene in the game. I think it's Plague's Tale Innocence. But there's a scene in the game that happens that you genuinely just go, wait, what? This makes no sense. And another great example is TV series. You oftentimes have TV series where the episode ends with this big reveal of something that's going to happen, right? Like there's this big moment of, ooh, and everyone's now left in suspense because something bad was forgotten. They didn't check the closet with the killer in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
But then as the show goes on, they just sort of forget about the killer in the closet.
Again?
And that never gets used. Like, they never use that. And you're like, wait, what? And that's what changes can do, right? Because you make changes later on. Because later on, the director had some big idea. And he was like, oh, what if the killer instead, jumps out the window? And he then completely forgets that, well, the killer's still in the closet, bro. Like,
no,
he's still there.
They just never recorded him jumping out the window. They never explained that. Yeah, some stories get really wonky when that stuff is not talked about. Yeah,
and that's usually a result of changes that's made. But personally, I love detailed visual effects.
When people are talking about changes, they're talking about the engine, I would imagine, given the context of the question.
I'm not sure, but I mean, if they're saying that they should be willing to change engines late in development.
Late in development. No, definitely not late in development.
This is not possible. Engines don't work together. I don't think Hamburg is making that point. Hamburg continues, personally, I love detailed visual effects. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink has insane visuals that are crazy from a game dev point of view. But it's also a game that took a really long time to make, which could have been due to the game engine.
So, do you know Grand Blue Fantasy Relink?
I understand that those are three words that exist to some extent, yes.
Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is it has an anime cel-shaded style. I wouldn't say that it's the most impressive visually looking game, but it's solid. And it ran pretty good. I think I played that on the PS5 and it was pretty good. And I had a real blast with it. So I'm just surprised that he would quote that one as being like an example of something different, because that art style's been done, I feel like. But it's very good. I like it a lot.
If I may just point out, Asian game names suck.
What do you got against Grand Blue Fantasy Relink?
It means nothing. Like, those are three words that in context means nothing. It's like, let's just choose three sort of loosely fantastical sounding words and put them as the title.
No.
It's like, dude, why can't you just use normal names? Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Grand Blue Fantasy is a mobile game. That's like a massive
mobile game.
It's a massive RPG in Asia and stuff like that. It's one of those gacha games. And Grand Blue Fantasy Relink I mean, I don't know why they called it Relink, but it's basically just like an action RPG that they've made based on that universe, and it's really good. Like, I played, I don't know exactly how much, but like a good, probably close to 200 hours, maybe more of that game. Yeah. I love that one.
No, that's fine. But then they also go, but the opposite can happen as well. The Halo 1 engine was being held by duct tape and glue, and they still made a great game. While the classic Metal Gear games had great cinematography despite the tech at the time. So I think they were more just pointing out the different ways in which, if developers were more open-minded, what can be achieved, instead of everyone just sort of going down the, Unreal, let's go route, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the poll. And I think myself and Rurikhan agree with 91% of you that said yes. We also think that they should be way more open-minded. And you guys know this. We've discussed this to death on this channel already.
Yeah.
So instead of talking more about Unreal Engine and engines in general, let's talk about Randy Pitchford and engines.
Which still goes back to the Unreal Engine. So our boy Randy has been having a real one this week, okay? He's been
another real one, we should say.
He's been in there actually providing tech support. I don't have the tech support tweets, but to give you an idea, some people were like complaining about it. And like, I think that some people had 5090s and stuff like that. And they'd be like, come on, Randy, I have a 5090, bro. What the hell? And it's like, okay, well, what's your CPU? Let me tell you the settings. And then he actually like give him a detail. Yeah, you need to be using DLSS. You should be playing in 1440p. Like this is some unhinged level shit. Okay.
Wow.
When he starts going, like somebody has a 50 series card and bro just goes, yeah, you need to be playing it at 1440p with DLSS on and 4 times frame gen. And I'm just like, what? On a 50 series, brother? Are you insane? But don't worry, because then he goes on and he comes out with one of the biggest bangers I've seen. I mean, there are 2 really good bangers that I have here for you guys. So this, I'm actually going to quote Randy Pitchford. This isn't like paraphrasing. This is literally what he said. Okay? He put out this tweet.
I'm locked in.
He put out this tweet and he thought that this was the correct approach, which, by the way, got community noted. But he says, every PC gamer must accept the reality of the relationship between their hardware and what the software they are running is doing. Okay? That's what Randy Pitchford has to tell you, CEO of Gearbox Studios. This naturally got community noted, and the community note says, the publisher of a game is responsible of providing accurate recommend and minimal specs, since the consumers has absolutely no way to check how the game is going to run in the hardware before release.
Yeah, but I would just like to point out, the reason I'm so confused about Randy Pitchford's statement there is that it would be similar to throwing someone with boiling water, right? So you're taking a bucket of boiling water and you're throwing it in someone's face. And then going, every human being must be aware of the effects of boiling water thrown in the face and take responsibility for this. And it's like, yeah, but I didn't do this to myself. I had no, what are you talking about? And this is like the most Captain Obvious statement in the history of the world that solves nothing, because you should be aware of the relationship between the software and the hardware. It's like, dude, you as the developer determine the relationship between the software and the hardware. What do you mean I should be aware of this? I am aware of it, but I can't change the fact if you optimize it as like ass.
So listen.
That
tweet, by the way, has a very reasonable amount of replies from Randy Pitchford himself.
What?
As in, before anybody else replied, brother had a couple of more tweets to say.
Of course.
A couple being 18. I was just counting them just now.
What? Okay, let's go.
No, I'm not reading all of them. Fuck that. It's basically him going like, my game's real good. My game is good. You guys just don't have good hardware. My game is good. My game's doing exactly what it's meant to do. Yeah, he's just like, he's got like 18 replies on that. Bro, that banger's got 4.2 million views right there, okay? That banger tweet. But don't worry.
And how many people replied to that?
I have no idea. There's like replies to like thousands, and then he replies to every one of those people individually, almost like it's just crazy. As a casual, like somebody said here, as a casual, you use minimum recommended specs. You assume recommended are how the game should be played. You assume minimum is still allowed to enjoy the game with some issues, loading time, and graphical dives. A gamer can gauge the engine also. Minimum specs achieves 30 FPS in HD. Recommended specs achieves 60 FPS in 1440p.
Wow.
But wait, this gets better, okay? So at a certain point, he's like on this big Twitter exchange with a bunch of people. And one of the things that he says is, if you have a DLSS option, use it, especially if you're trying to run at resolutions higher than 1080p. This is a campaign game. You're not competing in high-stakes esports here. The input latency is so insanely negligible, I would bet that less than 0.1% of the population could reliably detect it without tools in a blind test. Take the W on frame rate and use this incredible tech with DLSS on. So Randy Pitchford is just sitting over there sucking on NVIDIA's green dick, okay? The green dick that has DLSS tattooed on it. He's just sucking on it relentlessly, okay? He's giving it the Gok 5000, whatever it is that people call it, right? So, the Gluck, that's what they call it. So,
okay,
a user comes out named Cole Cypher, and he just says, or just an idea here. Make your game look good without relying on AI upscale. Revolutionary concept. The industry hates this man. Okay.
I just, man, this is exactly it, right? When DLSS and RTX was first announced, the idea was that it would make it better, not that it would replace everything.
No, wait.
Whereas
you're confusing
all they've
something.
now done,
RTX is a different thing altogether. You're talking about DLSS and FrameGen.
No. I'm talking about the whole package that was announced. So I'm talking about RTX, DLSS, FrameGen, all of it, right? Because the promise from this AI package was that it will take what's already good and it'll just make it better. The problem is that what was good has become dog poo
is worse.
And now you need the package in order to actually even make it work. The package doesn't make it better. It's not great. It's just workable for most of the time.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that annoys me to no end.
But don't worry. This gets better. Because obviously Randy...
Of course it does.
Randy ain't going to take that lying down. He's going to be like, this motherfucker... This random person on the internet out here telling me that I just need to make my game look good without AI upscale. Who does he think he is? So here's Randy Pitchford's reply. Code your own engine and show us how it's done, please. We will be your customer when you pull it off. The people doing it now are clearly dumb and don't know what they're doing. And all the support and recommendations and code and architecture from the world's greatest hardware companies and tech companies working with the world's greatest real-time graphics engine coders don't know what you seem to know. /sarcasm.
Wow. He really went off on one, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, dude. He's just like... The best part is then Cole Cypher just replies, Lamau, touch the nerve, Randy. Bro's just hitting them with all the bangers. But like, the funny part is, I was looking at Randy Pitchford's comment, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things that stood out was a sentence where he goes and he says, all the support and recommendation and architecture from the world's greatest hardware companies. So when you think about world's greatest hardware companies, I want you to give me 3 names.
Greatest hardware companies.
Relevant to the topic.
Did you say software or hardware?
Hardware. All of the world's greatest hardware companies. He says all the support and recommendations and the code and architecture from the world's greatest hardware companies. So I want you to give me 3 names in this context that you think are going to be relevant from the hardware company side.
NVIDIA, AMD, Intel.
There you go. See, those are the 3 that everybody's going to come up with, right? The world's greatest hardware companies when it comes to gaming in terms of PC hardware, which is what is being discussed, right? And he says all the support and recommendations and code and architecture from the world's greatest hardware companies, which naturally are likely going to be Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA.
Well, I would like to point out, not just likely, what else is there?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like you can go down to your PC shop and be like, hey, I want a graphics card, but I don't want to support AMD or NVIDIA. The guy's going to look at you and be like, well,
here's Intel.
We have nothing.
No, we have Intel.
Well,
they have the Black Magic B500.
Yeah. But I wasn't saying I want to throw away my money. I was just saying I want to buy a graphics card, right?
My streaming, listen, the ARC B580 is what's recording this video right now, my friend. It's doing a fine job at it.
Great job, boys. Buy yourself an ARC if you want a second PC that does bugger all except for record and stream.
There you go. It's a good price. It's good. It can encode AV1. It's fantastic. I love it. But as I was saying, right? So all of we have to go back and think about, okay, so you have all these hardware companies that are supposedly helping you and giving you recommendations and all this thing. What do they have to gain from this?
Well, money.
Hardware sales. So what is their best interest? Is it their best interest that your game plays and runs smoothly on like a 3080? No. They want your game to run smoothly on like a 5080, which they still failed to achieve, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? So
but that's because they're getting ready for the 6080.
Yeah, whatever. Okay? But the point is, the more demanding your game is from a hardware standpoint, the more these companies have to gain. So Intel is going to tell you, oh yeah, you need to use this feature from our newest line of processors. And it's like, well, what about support for the old processor? No, fuck that, dude. They need to buy one of the new ones. You go to AMD, it's going to be the same thing. Like, it's not like one of these companies is somehow magic. Like, for instance, I have an AMD card. I'm not under the impression that AMD is better than NVIDIA. They're just the underdog, and they have to fight harder for my money. So naturally, they're going to be cheaper. It's just that's the way that it is. I don't have loyalty to any of these fucking hardware companies. You're insane. I'm not going to be loyal to any of them.
If they got into power, they would immediately abuse that.
I'm going to take whatever is the best deal at the time. If NVIDIA is the underdog, I'm likely going to buy from NVIDIA because it's like, I mean, I'm only going to buy from NVIDIA if it's a better product, basically. But, you know, the better price to quality ratio, that's the one you're going to buy for. So you shouldn't be loyal, despite the fact that I know that a majority of PC gamers are absolutely loyal to NVIDIA. They will suck on that NVIDIA's green dick all day. And now NVIDIA is finally telling them, you guys like the slop so much, here's the 50 series. Enjoy that slop. Eat it. You know, eat it up and pay out the ass for it too, motherfuckers. That's what you get from all that loyalty you gave us. But anyway, point being, all of these hardware companies have a vested interest in making the game as demanding as possible to entice you to buy new hardware. And now, like right now, I think that NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel are going like, look at this fucking idiot tanking all the aggro. Because that's what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, they're loving it.
Like, they're a party in an RPG in a dungeon, and there's Intel, NVIDIA, and it's like NVIDIA's being like the healer or something like that. Intel and AMD are the DPS, and then Randy Pitchford is the tank. He's taking all the aggro. Like a fucking idiot.
But they're also not healing him. They're running away.
They're not healing him.
They're like, oh, wait.
They're roaching out.
They're line of sight.
They're playing
line of sight.
They're playing hardcore and they're roaching out on Randy Pitchford.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody coming out to defend this man.
They're pulling a Thor, man. Like, they're pulling a Thor.
Yeah, dude, he's fucked. He's cooked. Yeah, they're roaching out on him. But basically, that's that part. But wait, that's not all, okay? Because then we get to the other part. And tech companies working with the world's greatest real-time graphic engine coders. Unreal 5 engineers. He's talking about Unreal 5 engineers. So good old Tim Sweeney sent him a couple of engineers over to help him out in figuring out how to optimize the code. Now, when it comes to UE5, the only thing I can really say is these people are just fucking incompetent. Like, it is what it is. They're fucking incompetent. Yeah. Not a single UE5 game can come out that runs properly. Not a single one.
Yep.
All of them run bad. And people usually tell me about Wukong and Expedition 33, and I'm like, when they came out, they ran like ass. Did they get fixed? Yes. Yep. They still run like ass when they came out. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Like, maybe on some hardware it was magically running okay. It definitely wasn't for everybody, I promise you. I had tons of issues with those games.
That is always going to happen. I hate when people make that argument. They go, well, it ran fine for me. Yeah. It's like, yeah, dude.
Runs fine on my machine.
Bro. Like, come on. Like, let's just be serious here. If you have enough people complaining to where the noise gets loud and people hear it, then it means we have a problem.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's enough people experiencing the problem. But hey, we can talk about this nonsense. I should also just bring up, I'm not a huge fan of Randy Pitchford. I'm not a huge fan of Borderlands to begin with. But it should be mentioned that after Borderlands spent quite a bit of time pretending like there was nothing wrong with their game and that it was really the user error. And as you just heard here, Randy Pitchford really tried to gaslight players into going, no, it's your fault, actually. We made the perfectly optimized video game. They have now come out and said, hey, Vault Hunters, we want to thank you for welcoming Borderlands 4 to the world. It's been less than a week since the game launched, and it's been incredible watching millions dive into Kairos and forge connections with new Vault Hunters. Thank you. We're reading every piece of feedback you share. Some of the things we've already begun to take action on are, we know some PC players are running into bugs and crashes. We hear you. Updates to improve stability and performance.
Doesn't happen.
Already started rolling out over the weekend,
liars.
And another is coming this Thursday. This is our top priority in big, bold letters.
Don't believe the filthy PC gaming liars. They lie.
But here is the one that I hate the most. This actually makes me want to burn down the offices of Borderlands, of Gearbox.
Careful.
No, what's their names?
Gearbox. It is Gearbox.
Is it Gearbox Games?
Unless you want to talk about their publisher, 2K.
Yeah, no.
Or is it Take-Two Interactive? Games. I forget if it's 2K or it's Take-Two Interactive, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just I remember Gearbox, but for a second there I couldn't remember whether it's Gearbox Games that's doing the Path of Exile or if it's Gearbox doing this.
No, it's Grinding Gear Games are the ones doing Path of Exile.
Yeah.
It's completely different
studio. Yeah, that's why I couldn't remember, because I just remembered there's G's, and I'm like, which one is the G again?
You're finding the G spot of gaming right now.
Yeah, which one is which G'ing? But here's, dude, just listen to this. A field of view slider option for consoles is in testing right now, and more information is coming very soon on that. How can you release a video game in 2025? Dude, we wait more this for Starfield.
No, more important, a first-person video game. Because, like, you know, I know that for PC gamers, FOV sliders are like a big deal. But yeah, like for console gamers, they don't care as much about that stuff.
No, but if you can do it for the fact that they said for console players specifically means they have it in the game.
Yeah, but it's like you understand that FOV can affect performance.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Add it and optimize it. It's as simple as that. I
press the optimize button.
Yeah, just hit the optimize button before you release. Duh. Like, how hard can this be? But anyway, so that's sort of for those of you that are playing this game. You know, yeah, they'll get to you soon. You are important to the company. The company wants you to know You are
Yes.
loved and valued. Keep dropping that moolah, and they'll fix the problems
I'm sure
with the next DLC.
I'm sure Randy's got a shift code with your name on it.
Yep, it is coming.
You know what shift codes are even?
No, not really. But I assume it's bad.
So listen, this is gonna blow your mind since you don't follow Borderlands, but like Borderlands players,
I have no idea.
I think love this. I think they love this shit. But what happens is, so there are these chests in the game, these golden chests, and you need a key to open them. So I think that you can find keys in game, but they're like giga rare, right? So what happens is, good old Randy Pitchford comes out on social media, gives you a shift code that everybody can use. So it can be used by multiple people. So it's active for a certain number of time, like 48 hours, something like that. And that shift code gives you a gold key that you can then go in game and open.
Okay. I get what you mean.
And Borderlands players love this shit.
But
Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, man.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I remember like people were always like retweeting shift codes back in the Borderlands 2 days and shit. And I'm just like, this is so dumb. Like, what the fuck? Bro's literally giving you gold keys to get loot in the game. Like, why can't we just, do we need to be on social media to get keys? Like, what the fuck? It's so weird, bro. It's weird. Like, I'm sorry. It's weird.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know what's happening at this point. I would like to quickly just touch on something that's been going around that we're not going to waste too much time on this because you guys don't care. Most of you genuinely couldn't care less about this. But there's been a lot of movement around the YouTube broken claims, and Josh Drive Hayes has done incredible research on
he
used
some of my data on the latest video.
Yeah, I saw your name pop up and I was like, hey, that's my boy. He's on there. But effectively, it is broken, but it's also not broken, and we don't know why it's broken or what it does, because yes, views are down, but money isn't down.
See, that's the thing.
The question...
Money is down, at least for me. Absolutely. So I lost views, lost money, and I haven't stopped bleeding subs since the changes went live. So I'm getting like hit with a triple whammy.
Yeah, so I think long-term, this will absolutely affect, because the algorithm uses click-through rate as a way to tell it to push to more people. Now, if you made a change to where non-monetized views no longer count towards the view count.
Yep.
Did you remember to update the algorithm?
No, of course not.
So that the algorithm still knows that these are actual viewers?
No.
Because if the algorithm doesn't think this, think about it like this. If 100 people, if the video was shown to 1,000 people and 100 people click on the video, that's a CTR of 10%. That's pretty good, right? And a 10% CTR means that now YouTube is recommending that video to even more people because about 10% click. But if 50% of those views, and for some people that's literally seemingly how many views just disappeared overnight from their desktop views. But if 50% of those views just disappear, right? So suddenly it goes from 100 to 50. Now suddenly your click-through rate is 5%.
Half.
And the YouTube algorithm goes, well, no one cares about this video anymore. Leave it here.
Yep.
So it's kind of weird. I'll just say that. It's kind of weird, but that's where we are right now. This is why whenever we ask you guys, please consider hitting the like button and the subscribe button. We're not doing it because, we just like doing it. Trust me, no YouTuber likes saying those words. It would be better if we didn't have to do it. But we need to do it. Yeah, we want the videos to be made, and we want to be able to at least make enough money to where it justifies the time to do the research, make the videos, edit the videos, upload the videos, so that you guys can see it. And we don't charge you for it. We just ask that if you can, show a bit of love, because it really helps. Talking about stuff that really helps.
Here's just like really quick before we move on. YouTube also announced like a zillion different AI features are going to be coming over in the next couple of weeks, which my theory is, because I've been hearing this from a lot of people in my comment section and shit, People have been saying that, like, I've seen a market increase in the amount of AI slop that is presented to me on the homepage. I've seen it myself. My homepage is just like riddled with like those AI documentaries and shit that's just like a chat GPT dissertation coupled together with an AI voiceover and some VO3 generated bullshit. And YouTube is now advertising that, oh yeah, we're doing that. You know, these are tools that you're going to have access to if you do stuff on YouTube. You get to use our tools to add a bunch of AI slop into your videos. And I'm just like, my theory is that YouTube is trying to replace a lot of creators because the monetized views on AI, I think, have a better rev split for YouTube, especially if you're using their tools. That's my understanding. But I could be wrong. Could be like one of those big conspiracy theories. So yeah, I don't know.
That's just I genuinely don't know. I just know the YouTube homepage has not been all that good.
Yeah.
There's basically one thing that I can thank the YouTube algorithm for, and that is that it led me to a guy called Dan. And Dan does videos with cheerleaders. But not like sexy videos. He does like actual cheerleading high flyer stuff.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I didn't think I was into that. I didn't even know that was a thing, really. And then I started watching it and I'm just like, dude, what the? Like, first and foremost, the guys are really good at what they do, but those girls, dude, you have girls that's standing on their hands, on one hand, right, in the air, balancing on another guy's hand and just straight. And you're like, whoa, that's kind of insane. So I've been
the athleticism of that stuff is actually impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, you know, in games or in movies, you always look at the cheerleaders, right? And male cheerleaders in movies are sort of like, you know, the gay losers of the story. At least in old stories, you know, back when we could still make fun of homosexuals. Now, you know, it would probably be a straight white male or something. But, you know, it used to be like the losers would be the cheerleaders. But you look at these guys, you're like, dude, these guys are buff. These guys are like like really strong.
I never bought the idea that like the male cheerleaders are the losers back in the old days, because I'm like, what do you mean they're hanging out with
movies?
They're hanging out with cheerleaders all day. What the fuck do you mean they're the losers? Seems like they're winning in life to me.
Yeah, but remember the story still wanted to have it where they hang out with the losers that's constantly picking them up, but then they bang the quarterback, right? That's sort of that's the arc. The quarterback gets the goal. But anyways, you know, so it's pretty cool. I've been really enjoying it. Everything else on my homepage is flop. It's stuff that I have no interest in clicking on whatsoever. Like I see videos that's recommended to me and I go, when would I ever? And some of it, something that I have caught, like you guys, please let me know in the comment section down below if you guys have experienced something similar to this. I get so many videos that's like 2 or 3 years old.
Oh yeah, that's been something that people have been complaining about as well. Yeah.
Yeah, my homepage yesterday, I opened my homepage, every single video on my homepage is like 2 or 3 years old. And I'm like, wait, the hell is this? And I refresh.
It's because a lot of
every single video is 2 or 3 years old.
It's because a lot of the other ones are getting filtered, like, because with the application of their AI tools for checking out age verification and all of that bullshit, like a lot of the recent stuff is getting hard filtered by that. Like if you go to restricted mode, you'll notice that some of your videos from like a month ago, they're going to show up, but like most of the recent things are not going to show up. And therefore, those get less promotion. And therefore, you know, YouTube doesn't know what to serve you because YouTube thinks that your recent videos have all been garbage. So it just serves people that watch you and, you know, people that you're watching. It serves you their older content before the new thing was implemented. But this is stuff that YouTube obviously doesn't want to talk about.
But this is actually an amazing segue into the next topic, because New York is looking into forcing TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram to roll out age verification under their Safe for Kids Act.
YouTube is never going to be safe for kids, especially TikTok will never, ever, ever be safe for kids. You are insane.
No,
you put your children on TikTok, I'd be like, man,
yeah.
I don't think you know what you're doing, but you go right ahead. You do you, man. It's your kids.
I'm going to be honest with you. I look to people in my church, for example, that have kids. I look at my pastor. His children cannot watch a single movie unless he and his wife has watched it first.
That's smart.
If it's movies like, for example, originally they didn't allow their kids to watch Harry Potter. They watched it, my pastor and his wife. They loved it, but they didn't allow the kids to. But his oldest son is now old enough that they were like, okay, let's, he can watch Harry Potter now. But they watched it with him so that if he has questions, if there's anything that he doesn't quite understand, he can ask, and because that's what a parent's job is, right? Your job is to protect your children, to make sure that your children don't end up into things that they shouldn't be, shouldn't be into or shouldn't be dragged into.
Yeah, like the last couple of evenings I've spent, I haven't spent the whole evening, but like when I'm putting my kid to bed, since he watches a lot of stuff on YouTube, I'm like, okay, so show me what you're watching. And I go and I watch some of it with him, and it's like, it's obnoxious bullshit, but it's not terribly bad for him. I'm just like, goddamn brain rot bullshit you're watching.
I do think ultimately, parents will have to start taking a lot more care
absolutely.
with what their kids are doing. But also just get your kids off social media.
Yes.
I don't understand why children under the age of 16 is even on social media.
True.
They should not be allowed there. They're kids.
I mean,
they should be out playing. They should be out hanging out, getting drunk.
Allowed is a strong word, because the problem is, unfortunately, kids want to connect as well. So social media is a way for them to connect.
Yeah, but they can connect outside. We've been connecting outside for thousands of years.
Yeah, but not every place
outside.
Not every place in the world is necessarily the safest place in the world for a child to grow up in.
My bro, I grew up in South Africa. This is one of the most unsafe countries in the world. Guess where I was every single day of my life?
Yeah, but things
outside,
have gotten
riding
worse.
my bike through the city, just playing. I remember waking up one day in the bathtub, the whole half of my face just bloodied, right? Because we were on our bikes and I went up a sidewalk. My wheel got caught on the sidewalk and I planted with my face first into the dirt, and my friend had to carry me home because I was just
skill issue.
So yeah, well, that's just sort of it is a skill issue. At that time, it was a skill issue. Although there were some updates to the road that no one made a sort of, a blue post on what these updates would be. They patched the road, but no one gave patch notes to say that the road was being patched. So, I didn't get that update. And so I sort of went blind and I stumbled and fell. So it happened. But kids should get back to being kids, and I think once we get that right, most of this other stuff will fall away.
Unfortunately,
but social media isn't connections for kids.
I don't think we're going to get that right. Like, I'm sorry, I feel bad, but what I'm seeing, and this is like, my country is probably one of the safer countries, I would imagine, at least on where I live, which I don't live in near any like major capital city or whatever. So
yeah,
it's like my country's fairly safe, and I don't think we are ever going to go back to a point where the way that things were, where kids are playing outside all the time and all that's those days are just fundamentally gone, because a lot of parents aren't really parenting their children.
See, but that's where I think I'm inclined to agree with you to about 60%, right? So 60%, I think you're most likely correct. But there is that 40% where I look at it and I go, okay, humanity has always had giant issues with new technology. Whenever a big new disruptive technology comes to market, it tends to really cause a lot of trouble. You think about the printing press. The invention of the printing press led to Europe almost hunting and fighting itself to extinction. It literally got to the point where the kings of Europe were like, boys, we gotta stop. We gotta stop. This is insane.
And people were going like, we're just getting started.
Yeah. So, and that was just the printing press. Because when you think about it, Martin Luther wasn't the first reformer of the Catholic Church. There were multiple people before Martin Luther who said the Catholic Church has become corrupt and needs to be reformed. But they all failed because they couldn't get their message out. The printing press comes around. Martin Luther finds fault with the Catholic Church, and he is the first person to be able to print the Bible in German for normal Germans to be able to read it, first and foremost, but then also able to print out why he disagrees with the Catholic Church. And this is what sparks revolution, right? So humanity has always struggled with new technologies. I think social media is similar to that, right? I think AI is similar to that, where it's going to take us some time to get it right. But there is always that one chance, right? That outside chance where parents sort of recognize that, hold on, we can't keep doing this. Our kids are getting destroyed on social media because all the data is there. Social media is so bad for kids. It leads to little girls now committing suicide 4 times more than they were just, I think, something like 20 years ago. Boys' suicide rates is well over 2. It's destroyed the relationship between the sexes, where men and women are suddenly now at war with one another, when in reality, there isn't a more natural partnership than men and women getting along. So social media is just bad. And I pray that parents will come to realize that you should keep your kids off of social media for as long as possible.
I agree.
And if you are going to allow them on social media, severely limit the types of social media. Games, I think, is a different story because we actually do have a lot of research to show games are really good.
Yeah, games
right?
make I think one of the main reasons my kid's doing well in school is because he got a lot of problem solving from games because I taught him games, but it's not like the fucking mobile games that'll just like shred your brain. I'm teaching him how to play proper games,
Yeah. Get your kids involved in things like Civilization, in even games like Fortnite. I mean, people might knock it because it's a silly game.
Bro, Super Mario.
But Fortnite will teach you how to work in a team, right? If you're playing with a bunch of your friends. It'll teach you how to problem solve because you will have to shoot another guy and you'll have to problem solve your way out of that. So games are good, especially for young boys, but even young girls. Games are good.
Idea, a really good one is actually Minecraft because Minecraft requires them to like learn some formulas for crafting and shit like that, and how to use all that. Like my kid got a lot of reading done because he wanted to learn more about Minecraft, and now he is better at reading because he kept reading these stupid guidebooks. And I'm just like, can you just find all the guides online, but fine, I'll buy you a book to read, sure. And he's learning all these things in like these guidebooks and whatnot. But the point is, it's not that he's learning Minecraft, even though that's important because he's reading and interpreting, which is another skill. But like, is he just the fact that he's motivated to learn more things about Minecraft gets him to develop his reading skills, gets him to develop his interpretation skills and all that stuff, which is
contextual skills, nuanced understanding how. So I think there's a phenomenal, I think we should try to get our kids to play more video games, social video games specifically, because they have tremendous value, and limit their interactions on things like Instagram, things like Facebook.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think kids use Facebook anymore, but maybe there are still some, right? Limit those types of interactions and try to get them into video games because that's, I think, good for them, and it still gives them that ability to socialize with their friends, which I think all over is good.
Agreed.
But then also be careful that your kids don't get addicted to video games because video games will lead to addiction. So as a parent, be careful. Speaking of games and games that your children shouldn't be playing, let's talk Roblox. Because Roblox is a particularly bad game, just to be fair here. The problem, I think, with Roblox is also, it happens to be their biggest success, is the fact that normal people can make their own games in Roblox using the engine and the ecosystem, right? And so Roblox's biggest reason for its success also happens to be its biggest danger. Now, you all know the stories about the pedo stuff that's happening, about games that exist that do some very questionable shit on Roblox. But now we also have over 100 experiences, which is what they call games in Roblox, have been removed. Now, the article is a little misleading here, just FYI, because it says here that it's been removed for referencing the Charlie Kirk assassination, which technically wouldn't be wrong, because referencing Roblox's own terms of service makes it that you cannot make games that reference real-life tragedies. So in the same way that you wouldn't be able to make a game where, players kill George Floyd over and over again, you can't make a game where players kill Charlie Kirk over and over again, because you're not allowed to make games that reference real-life tragedies. So that would be fine, but when you actually look at the games for Charlie Kirk, most, if not all of them, were games celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk that has now been removed. This is why I think you should not have your kids play Roblox. Look, guys, it is one thing. It is one thing for you, right, to not have liked Charlie Kirk. Right? That is fine. You didn't have to like him. But the fact that I'm seeing so many people that celebrate his death, right? That literally, I was watching this professor at Penn State, and he was talking to these students, and he asks this girl, "What's your biggest fear following the assassination of Charlie Kirk?" And this girl's answer was so shocking. She said, "My biggest fear is that someone else replaces him and continues to spread his vile message of hate." And I'm like, wait, do you realize what you just said? You literally just said, my biggest fear is that us using violence against their speech doesn't work. That's my biggest fear. I hope that the violence we're using against their speech actually works out. If you're celebrating that death, in my opinion, you've proved that you're evil, right? And so the fact that games for kids, because Roblox is played by kids, the fact that there's games for these kids celebrating the death, the assassination of a real life person, keep your kids away from Roblox. You're basically making a company rich by allowing this company to serve your children with harmful content, and also content that might actually be victimizing your children. So yeah, when it comes to Roblox, just an absolutely disgusting company and video game. Now, I must admit, Representative Anna Paulina Luna, she contacted Roblox first to make this known to them that there were these games celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. And the CEO himself reached out to Representative Anna Paulina Luna to tell her that we are working tirelessly to remove these experiences in games. And no, this doesn't count under freedom of speech. This isn't freedom of speech. You're free to say, I didn't like Charlie Kirk. But once we get into the business of celebrating the political assassination of people, and specifically with these games, a lot of them weren't just celebrating it, but they were actually sort of egging people on to do it more and do it again. And I would even say just celebrating it is already sort of inciting more violence, because you're telling other unhinged individuals that, hey, if you also go and kill a right-winger, we'll celebrate you too. And it's just sort of, let's calm down on this.
The whole Roblox thing is like, I understand the appeal, because I mean, imagine when you were younger, right? Let's say you're 13, 14, and there's a platform where you can go and you can make your own game. Like at that age, I kind of feel like all of us that have played games, we all want to go and make games. So it's very easy to kind of like get that younger audience to just jump in and play Roblox in hopes of like, oh, I'm going to make my big hit game. And then on top of it, there's so many people playing it. Like there was one of the most successful games ever was something that was like coded by a kid in 3 days. Like a 16-year-old kid coded something in 3 days that had like 20 million concurrent users or something absolutely ridiculous like that. Right. And it's like when you have that type of a reach, that's even more appealing because then you're also like, oh, man, look at how many people are playing my video game. Now, I don't know how the monetization works. I would imagine that there's probably some type of rev share baked into that because otherwise it doesn't make that much sense. But it's really frustrating because I would actually like to see my kid play Roblox and engage in these things and develop his own games and figure that shit out. But there's just like so much predatory shit on that on that game that is just like, it's just like that's atrocious. Like I would basically have to be sitting over his shoulder every time he logs in to Roblox.
Well, you'd have to play with him.
Yeah.
Right. You'd have to play with him every single time to make sure that he's not getting involved because it's really sneaky the way that they make some of these games where it literally just, you go into a game and before you know it, there's penises and also sexual references that a lot of kids aren't ready yet, and kids should learn this stuff from their parents. They should not learn this stuff from anyone else because your parents are equipped to teach you about how to make babies and all the rest of it. Speaking of parents that should have been equipped but isn't equipped, let's talk about Nintendo.
Oh, okay. For a second, I was like, what kind of segue is this? Where are we going?
No, well, it's a segue where I sort of started with parent and patent. And then I thought parents should have teach.
And then you had a brain
Parents
fart.
should actually have teach. No. Because let me connect this for you. Parents are to blame for the success of Nintendo because they didn't beat their kids more when they were younger so that their kids would end up wasting money on bullshit companies. There you go. That's the segue.
Christ.
Put that in there. Let's go. Tell me about this patent stuff.
I like Nintendo games, bro. Why you gotta be like that?
Because you weren't beat enough as a child.
I never even got to play Nintendo games as a child because I didn't have a Nintendo. Like, I've only started playing Nintendo games in like...
So your parents were based?
2007, I think, which is when the Wii came out. And I started by playing Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which at the time...
This is back when you were 50, right?
No. What? Which at the time, by the way, was actually seen as a lot of people as one of the worst Zeldas ever made because it was one of the darker, edgier Zeldas. And I was like, no, I like it. It's pretty fun. Okay. I like it a lot. It's a pretty good game. Nice. But so the situation with the Nintendo patents is something that I found very interesting because over the last week, a lot of people have been talking about the Nintendo patent of summoning creatures that do combat for you, which I believe we talked about.
Yeah, we spoke about this last week. Yeah.
In last week's episode as well. So people have been telling me, people that understand how this stuff works, that particular patent is very specific in what it says and what it does because it makes sure to use the Pokeball and the arc in which it's thrown and all of these things and yada, yada, yada. To me, I still think like it is grossly overreaching and absolutely stifling for the industry because you have like indie studios or AA studios that want to do something where they throw something and a creature comes out of it and it's like, okay, I can't throw a ball. Can I throw a cube? Is that okay? How about a pyramid? Can I throw a pyramid? Is that okay? Because now they all have to like throw an email at Nintendo and be like, hey, here's how our summoning technique works. Like the thing goes and it doesn't go in an arc. It does like a triangle and then it goes forward and then it summons a creature. Is that okay? And then like Nintendo have to be the overlords and be like, actually, I don't know if that's okay. I think you have to change it or you have to give us money. It's like, no, dude, it's fucked up. It's completely... Go ahead.
In my personal opinion, we don't allow painters to patent the blue sky, right? If a painter wanted to Van Gogh with Starry Night, wasn't able to go, well, the stars in heaven, that's mine.
Yeah.
Anyone else tries to paint this shit, I will sue the living crap out of you because the judge would have looked at him and gone, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
This is art. It's not how this works. right?
So
I don't think video games should be a game company should be allowed to patent game assets and assets. Fine, right? You made the kind of asset, people can't just rip that off. But when it comes to concepts, like for example, summoning something, or and people already know where I'm going with this, the Nemesis system.
The Nemesis system, bro. Fuck Warner Brothers, man. Fuck them. They're the worst.
You should not be allowed.
God
because
damn,
they invented it, patented it, and then just never used it again.
Never used it again. Yeah, it's like, yeah, we made this really cool thing. Nobody ever gets to do anything like this ever again. It's like, well, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I wish you had never even invented it because you're a piece of shit company, okay? Like, you want to know an interesting thing like that I like to bring up when it comes to this is the Final Fantasy 14. So Final Fantasy 14 has a very specific way in how they handle using a controller on an MMORPG.
Yeah.
And they could patent that because they came up with a really good way of doing it, and they could have patented it and nobody else would have been able to copy it. But very specifically, Yoshi P said in some interview at some point, where he was like, oh no, we didn't patent this on purpose because I hope other people will copy it so that I can enjoy other MMORPGs that play like this.
Yeah.
So it's like, he's specifically like, listen, we made this really cool thing, steal it from us. And even Miyazaki, I think, has said at some point, like, because somebody asked him, oh, how do you feel about other people making Souls-likes and stuff like that? And he's like, I'm very happy that this game we make inspired so many people, and that means that there's going to be more good games like this out there, so I'm happy about it. So, but no, some of these companies have to be like fucking assholes about it, like Nintendo. But here's the thing, right? We're talking about the summoning patent, which is the same one we talked about last week. Shouldn't exist, grossly overreaching, absolutely creatively stifling the industry and making it very hard for smaller developers to come up and try to do something that's been inspired by Pokemon, right? But on top of that, Nintendo also got another patent that not as many people are talking about. This I think, is one of the patents that is the reason why you can no longer like glide in Palworld. I also briefly brought this up. But this week I was looking into that patent to see what that one entails. So I sent you that image, Accolonn, which there's an image of a guy on a horse, and then he approaches a cliff, and then there's a button prompt that says A to switch to cliff character or whatever, and he presses A, and a little sloth creature comes out, and now you're on the back of a sloth creature, and now you're climbing up the thing. So the idea is they're patenting the smooth switching of mounts because they do this in their Pokemon game, you know, switching from a mount to another, and they patented that technology. So this is used in the case that I showed Accolonn. He was swapping from a regular mount into a mount that can climb up a wall. But they also have one where he's going from, you know, the character stationary, no mount. He goes into a river, presses a button, boom, fish mount comes up. And now you have like a sea mount and you're going into the water. Then he goes and like you can jump up in the air, press the thing, and an eagle flies by and you grab the eagle, and now you're on this other mount. And all of this stuff is patented by Nintendo. And here's an interesting thing. I don't know exactly how patents work, which is one of the problems of talking about this. But there are lawyers that do know how this works, and the lawyers themselves have stated that one of them said that this is a blatant failure of the U.S. patent system. This is a video game IP lawyer that mentioned this. There's a story on PC Gamer for people that are curious about it. And the previous Pokemon head lawyer, so he's no longer working there, but like he used to be like the head of legal at Pokemon or whatever. He said, yeah, those new Nintendo patents really are kind of, these are going a little bit too far, aren't they? So even the guy who worked on this was saying like, yeah, these are kind of pushing it a little bit. So just to give you an idea of what other people that do understand how this stuff works are saying. But an interesting thing is one of the things cited in that patent, and I couldn't find exactly where the thing was, but like it said, sources cited, and it mentioned Guild Wars 2. And I'm just like, oh, interesting, because for those of you that don't know, Guild Wars 2 has potentially one of the most advanced mount systems in any MMORPG, because like you have different mounts for jumping, different mounts for gliding, like just for flying, they have like 3 different types of mounts that do different things flying wise, because it's very specific into how everything works. And that's the thing that World of Warcraft copied when they came up with dynamic flying. They pretty much ripped that straight off of a combination of 2 of the mounts in Guild Wars 2, which is fine. As far as I'm concerned, that's fine because they were inspired by it, whatever. But the point is, Nintendo is even quoting other people that are doing this. I'm not sure if they're quoting it as, oh, this is an exception because they're doing it slightly different from us. But basically, here's the funniest thing. On their Nintendo Direct, which we're going to be talking about shortly, on their Nintendo Direct, there's a game on there that I'm a huge fan of, which is Monster Hunter Stories, which is coming out with a new one in March next year, Monster Hunter Stories 3. So they had a new trailer for Monster Hunter Stories, and in there, they showcased everything that is patented under their writing patent being done in a Monster Hunter game. And I was thinking to myself, wait, so you can sue Capcom, but you're not going to, because Capcom is publishing their game on your system, so you don't have interest in suing them. So maybe if Pal World was on the Switch, they could have avoided getting sued. But because people don't have to buy a Switch to play Pal World, Nintendo's going to be like, no, fuck you guys. Because when I'm telling you, it was literally every example. It was literally every example. So you're talking about a character jumping off of a cliff into a mount, very much like is explained in the patent, that they jump and they grab the mount. It's the same thing, except here instead of grabbing it, they're riding it. The smooth swapping of mounts by selecting a different mount and maintaining the momentum and everything also happens because they swap from flying a Toby Kadachi into a Rathalos, and it keeps on going just fine. The smooth swapping from a ground mount into a climbing mount, that happens in that trailer as well, because they're going on a ground mount, they smoothly swap into Magnamalo, climbs the cliff, bada bang, bada boom, same thing. They do the smooth swapping of mounts between 2 ground mounts. They do the thing where a character's running into running into a river, and boom, out comes a Plesioth to do and I'm just like, this is literally everything that's described in your patent. Now, aren't people supposed to defend their patents? So technically speaking, isn't Nintendo forced to sue Capcom? Which, by the way, I don't want this to happen. I love Monster Hunter Stories 3. Fuck Nintendo. I just want to play Monster Hunter Stories. Fuck that shit. But like, I'm just thinking to myself, how exactly are you going to apply this patent of yours when somebody that blatantly does everything that is on this patent, which, by the way, you shouldn't have even been able to file to begin with. You shouldn't have even been able to file this patent, but somehow you're doing nothing about it and you're promoting it on your Nintendo Direct. This is some fucking weird-ass behavior, bro. It's fucking weird, is all I'm saying. It's weird as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, there's nothing I can add to Nintendo. I hate this company. I hate Nintendo. I hate everything they stand for. I would not mind if this company went the way of the dodo bird, because I think it's sort of like, to give you guys an example of what I mean when I say you should not be allowed to patent this. It would be like a YouTuber that comes up with a really awesome way of cutting and splicing certain segments of videos together, right?
I'm going to
comes up with this really cool transition.
No, listen. I'm going to patent jump cuts. You can no longer do jump cuts in any of your videos. Like, you're done. It's over. So now, if you record something, you can't cut it. You have to do. You have to do one take willies for everything that you do. You can't cut it. I've patented it. Fuck you.
Or if you do cut it, it can't be a jump cut, right? It has to be done in such a way that it's an L cut or a Y cut or I think there's an H cut type thing as well, but it can't be a jump cut, which is what most people do because jump cuts help with tempo.
And I'm also patenting cross dissolve for both video and audio. You can't do cross dissolves anymore.
Well, there you go, right? And this is the thing that annoys me to no end, right? Is that Nintendo is allowed to get away with this. People can't steal my video that I've made, but they can absolutely steal a cool transition or a cool editing technique. That's open, right? If they can figure out how to do it themselves, they should be allowed to use it because it's cool. You know, why wouldn't you want to? Why wouldn't you
fuck
want to
'em.
share that with the world?
You get nothing.
But Nintendo couldn't care less. So I really hate them. But since I hate them so much, tell me about their Direct, please.
So the Nintendo Direct was interesting. It's very interesting. Started very slow. No games announced at the very beginning of the Direct. It was mostly just like, hey guys, soon it's going to be the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. So we have a new Mario movie coming out. There's new Mario parks. Like, they literally spent about 10 minutes on this, which is which I was just thinking the whole time. It's like, where are the video games? Like, you're talking about a movie, you're talking about fucking theme parks. I could care less about any of these things. I want video games. That's what I want, right? But, you know, they took their time. Then they're like, and we're releasing Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, which I was like, I thought those were already on the Switch, but I could be wrong. But those are coming out for Switch 2, which is good because, like, Super Mario Galaxy is phenomenal. I played a decent chunk of that game. Really, really fun. So people are super happy about that. But yeah, it was mostly just like Mario stuff at the beginning of the show, but it started very slow. Like, it was just like a very slow thing. And basically people that don't care about Mario didn't really have anything to look forward to at the start of that Direct. But things move on a little bit. Then we have Metroid Prime 4, which got a release date, which is at some point at the beginning of December. I think it's the 4th of December or something like that. So, yeah, finally we have a release date for that. A new Fire Emblem game was announced, which is good. Fire Emblem games are good. Then they announced a really strange Pokemon game, which is one of those cozy farming games with blocks that you can break the blocks and build things. And I was thinking to myself the whole time, they're going to patent that and then they're going to sue Microsoft for Minecraft. That's the Nintendo special now. They're going to patent the breaking of blocks and they're going to sue Microsoft because Microsoft now owns Mojang, who made Minecraft, and they're going to dick them over with that. But I don't know. Pokopia was weird.
They'll probably do it as well.
The main character is a Ditto, which is a Pokemon that can mimic other Pokemon, but she takes the form of a little girl, which is really weird. And yeah, so you're running around as this little girl that's actually a Ditto, and you're doing farming things, and you have other Pokemon. And I don't know. It was real weird. Then they continued, and they showed this Tomodachi AI thing. Yeah, they showed this Tomodachi AI thing, because I sent you the video. What do you think about that game, Accolonn? Is that not an amazing game?
I love it. I love it. AI has come so far.
The AI slop voices, bro. So good.
In making slop that is almost unrecognizable AI slop, except for the fact that it is absolutely definitely AI slop. It's like, oh man, it's bad. It is really, really bad. And not just, okay, so first, the characters genuinely have AI voices.
Yep.
They genuinely use AI voices for the characters to be able to speak, right? But even if the game wasn't AI, and if the game was made by actual developers, it would still be a disgusting video game. Because the game is effectively just you making a bunch of me's, which is what they're called.
Here's the thing. The me's are from your friends. They're your friends' me's.
Well, you can make me's with your friends, or you can make your own me's, but your friends, you can model them after your friends. But then all the game is you just sort of going, oh, this me is a lonely. I'll take this other me and throw it next to this me. And then they'll become friends but they do their own shit. Like they barely need you. I don't know, bro.
That was so weird. That was like one of the weirdest things I've seen in a hot minute. But yeah, that really sucks. Yeah. They also showed Resident Evil 9, which is going to be playable natively, which was surprising to me because I remember them releasing, I think it was Resident Evil 7 in the original Switch, but it was like the cloud version. So you could only play it in the cloud, I think. I think there was something like that. I don't remember exactly how that worked out, but it looks like the Switch 2 is powerful enough that it's going to be able to run Resident Evil 9. Resident Evil 9 is phenomenal. I don't necessarily think that the Switch 2 is going to be the best place to play it because it's not quite as immersive, because the whole thing about Resident Evil 9, I've played it at Gamescom, is about the immersion. Like, you want to be sitting down big TV, just like doing your thing and enjoying the immersion of the game. And I don't think it's like, I don't think it translates very well to a handheld game. And if you're playing it on the TV with a Switch too, it's not going to have, you know, the same visual fidelity that you can get on another console or on the PC or whatever. But, you know, if it's the only way to play it, sure, fine. I think that's fine. But I would definitely recommend playing it like dark room, big TV, rather than playing it in handheld mode. But I'm happy that at least it's in the platform as far as I'm concerned. They also showed Stories 3, which I've already mentioned. Stories 3 I'm super excited for. It's like Stories 3 would be what Pokemon could be if Nintendo and Game Freak actually gave a single solitary fuck about their game. Okay? Just like, well, actually, no. If they gave a single solitary fuck, it could be like maybe 10% of what Monster Hunter Stories is, because it's just so much better. Monster Hunter Stories, phenomenal game. I can't wait to play Stories 3. I think it's going to be an absolute banger. So I'm looking forward to that one. So that's kind of like the big standout title for me, but we already knew that that title was coming out, so it's not like a big revelation. But then we have the pièce de résistance, the
nice
coup de grace of the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So Nintendo goes on, you know, they have their Switch Online Plus expansion service, right? So they give us like this blurry image, like coming soon, Nintendo Switch Online with expansion. There's this blurry image with a red background. And people are like, what's that? And then they just reveal it. The Virtual Boy is coming to the Nintendo Switch too.
Dude, I was actually into this. Like, I was waiting for this. I was like,
Bro,
wow, okay,
I lost it so bad. I was like, what do you mean, the Virtual Boy?
Such a bad name. I told you, the Asians don't know how to name shit.
Bro, the Virtual Boy was something that, as far as I'm aware, back in whenever that shit came out, it actually gave people like massive headaches. It gave people like retina problems. It was that bad of a technology that people had a really bad time. But Nintendo was like, you know what? It's time to bring this bad boy back.
Hey, running it back.
So they have an accessory. It's an accessory where you basically slide your Switch on it, and it's just like the old Virtual Boy. And you play all the Virtual Boy games, all 14 of them, or however many there were.
Oh, okay.
I can't make this shit up. But don't worry, if you don't want to splurge out on like an expensive accessory to fuck up your retinas and give you headaches, they got the Labo version of it, which is just like this cardboard version.
No, man, like, come on. I don't even know. I don't know what to do with this information. Like, Nintendo is such a scumbag company.
But here, I'm not sure if you understood the part that I said at the start, okay? This is one of those things that
I'm not understanding anything. No, this is too dumb, dude. My brain cannot follow this.
No,
the
but
level
wait,
of stupid here.
It gets better because you probably didn't fully assimilate the information I told you at the beginning. Okay, but I'm going to give it back to you again. This is not something that you just buy and have access to. You need the Nintendo Online subscription. So you don't buy it. You get it for free. Accolonn, it's free. With the Nintendo Online subscription. But it gets better, because to play these amazing retro games, it's not just the Nintendo Online subscription. You need the online subscription with the expansion. So it's the more expensive version of the online subscription.
Bro, why are people still supporting Nintendo? What is going on? Like, am I being punked? Is the whole world in on a joke? Hey, we're going to continue supporting Nintendo because it makes Accolonn wonder what the hell is happening.
Man, what a banger of a Nintendo Direct that was, dude.
I hate Nintendo. I hate Nintendo, and I really hope that they go
It's
bankrupt.
okay.
Because
Nintendo hates you
they're
too.
so scumbag. They are so scumbag. Well, they can't hate me. They don't know I exist. I've never played a Nintendo game in my life, except for pirated games. Yes, Nintendo, I pirated your games before.
How dare you?
Although I didn't do it. It was a console from China way back in the day.
I would never say that. That's fucking crazy, dude.
They can't do crap to me. This was when I was like 8 or 9.
Doesn't matter.
So I didn't even buy it myself. I just
their lawyers will find a way, dude. Especially because you're saying it on a public podcast.
Their lawyers can suck my pee-pee.
Careful.
No, I'm not afraid of Nintendo. They should come.
Wait, they should what?
They should come. In their pants.
Because you were saying, suck my pee-pee, they should come. I'm like, wait, what? What's this conversation?
Hey, yeah.
This is a strange avenue we're going down.
Are we still doing the YouTube thing, or have we switched to the other platform?
I mean, might as well. Probably pays better.
Probably. You might even get more views.
I'm going to start a Pornhub account. Do they do live streams?
We're going to go from... you could probably. Yeah, I think so. Like, dude, you'd actually make money.
I'm going to live stream Deep of Night on Pornhub.
Yeah, but here's the thing. After people, watch the content that Pornhub is famous for,
they watch a little bit of gaming.
Now with the post-nut clarity, get a bit of gaming in there.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I mean, listen, I recently subscribed to Restream because I wanted to also
Dude,
stream
if you
to
just
X.
said there, I recently subscribed to Pornhub, that would have been one hell of an admission. You'd be like, whoa, bro, we don't say that out loud.
No, I recently subscribed to Restream so that I'd get one more streaming platform, because you can only stream for free to 2 platforms. And I was like, I want to do it on X as well. Fuck it. So I paid for their thing, and I was like, I could, instead of sending stuff to X, I could stream straight to Pornhub.
You could try it, see if it works. I will say, though, X is useless for streaming.
The best,
at least I have found it to be completely useless.
The best part would be like, I'd be playing the game, suddenly there's a comment, oh, I'm jacking off to this.
Oh yeah, that would be quite awesome.
This bird's so hot. Oh damn. Dude, look at him doing his alt. Oh yeah.
I have this sound effect on my stream of a girl sort of moaning, right? That people can redeem for money.
Why?
It would hit so much different on Pornhub. Like if I'm streaming on Pornhub and suddenly it's like, oh, and we're like, whoa, 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 whoa. We're not doing that right now. We're playing video games. Like, why are you, it's that ara, that thing. And then there's another one that goes along with, ara, but then there's another one that says, girls don't do this. They did, and then they moan. Chat chose it. I just sort of went along with it. Speaking of one company that absolutely hates gamers, let's talk about Ubisoft.
So, apparently, I wasn't aware of this, so I'm not going to have a whole lot to really say about it. I wasn't aware of it, but apparently there's a Black Flag remake in the works, which is a good thing. Black Flag was one of the better Assassin's Creed games. And
I would say Black Flag was the last great one.
Damn, Accolonn getting no sleep whatsoever. But
I don't know why I'm yawning. I would just say
it's
Black
Ubisoft.
Flag is probably the last based Assassin's Creed, right?
Yeah.
I personally prefer 1, 2, and 3, but I think Black Flag
2.
was
2 is my favorite one by far.
2 is also good. I think 1 and 2 is probably my favorite of all of them.
One I was actually not a big fan of because I played 2 and then went back and played 1 and I was like, this doesn't hit the same after playing 2.
The thing I think the thing I loved about 1 and 2 is the mystery of it all. Right?
Yeah.
Like how mysterious this was, the anima system and whatnot.
Yeah.
Black Flag was sort of the last one, but you were going to say, and then I'll say why this is such good news.
Apparently, it's rumored to have no present day gameplay, which as far as I'm concerned, good.
I was going to say that. in 1 and 2,
the most boring parts of Assassin's Creed games is the fucking Animus bullshit. Like, I don't give a fuck.
No, but in 1 and 2, the Animus
and 1 and 2 was good, yeah.
It's super exciting because you don't know what's going on here, and you think that, hey, maybe the story could go off here. And there was such potential with the Animus in 1 and 2. I mean,
was it in 2
Black Flags?
Or was it in Brotherhood, where he starts like gaining the powers of Ezio outside the Animus or whatever? You start doing assassinations outside the Animus.
I never played Brotherhood. Then
it might have been 2 as well. I don't remember, but I remember that in one of them, at a certain point, you're actually like doing missions outside, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah. That part of it was. I
remember there's one where the facility gets infiltrated. Is that 2? And you have to escape the facility. With these people infiltrating the facility.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it's been a very long time. Plus, I may actually be mixing games here. You know, just sort of going, oh, I remember Splinter Cell, but it's not Splinter Cell. I remember it as Assassin's Creed. It's possible, right? But the point is, Black Flag, and I very recently played Black Flag, like maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I played Black Flag. And Black Flag, by far the worst parts of the game, is the outer.
Oh yeah, like, because you're like a tourist or whatever that's like testing something, and I was like, what the?
Yeah, you're tasting.
It was just not interesting at all.
Yeah, you're working at this company, the company that's making the Animus technology and stuff. Yeah. And they're tasting stuff on you. And it's just like, oh, this is so boring, man. Come on, I don't care. Just let me be a pirate. I want to be a pirate, please.
I want to be a pirate.
So yeah, and it could have been so good because Ubisoft then after that made Skull and Bones, and they went, we don't remember anything about what's Black Flag again. Yep. We don't know what that is. We're gonna make a whole new game instead of remembering why everyone wanted a pirate game in the first place from Ubisoft, which was Black Flag. That was the inspiration. That's why everyone said, hey, give us a pirate game that is like Black Flag. And they went, we'll give you a pirate game that is nothing like Black Flag. How do you feel about that?
We're so smart. We're so smart. Yep. You'll never see it coming.
Yep. Okay, so now we're entering what we like to coin here on the podcast, Ruri Hour.
No,
it's not an hour long.
There's one more. There's no
Rurikhan.
There's one more topic.
No, there's nothing.
Yeah, there is.
No, there
Vampire
isn't.
the Masquerade.
Dude, that's in your topic. I don't care about Vampire the Masquerade. I don't play that shit. I don't know what it is even.
I think that you'd probably be right up. This seems like it'd be right up your alley because the biggest thing about vampires is the story. I haven't played that much Vampire the Masquerade, but this right here, this particular topic is very important because apparently when they announced the release of this game, which by the way, I've met a lot of people at Gamescom that played Vampire the Masquerade, a lot of content creators and, even just like regular folk that would talk to me while I was going through the halls. And everybody that played Vampire the Masquerade 2 was telling me like, oh, that's so good. I think that's called Bloodlines 2, whatever I forget if they call it Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I don't know. It's not really my type of game. Yeah. But people were saying it's phenomenal. It's fantastic. It's really, really good. So everybody was like super happy about it. But everybody was upset over the announcement of what they were doing with the game. So in Vampire the Masquerade, there are multiple vampire clans. And when they announced it, they did the usual nasty, greedy thing of going like, you want all the vampire clans?
No, right.
We have this deluxe edition that's going to be just for you so that you can get all the vampire clans. Because I think 2 of the clans, if I'm not mistaken, it was the clans of La Sombra and Toreador, which it's funny when you think about it. La Sombra basically means the shadow. Toreador is like a matador.
All right.
So it's like those are like 2 vampire clans. But anyway, so with these 2 vampire clans, you would need to have the deluxe edition. But recently they backtracked. They said, oh, we hear you clearly. These should be in the base version of the game. So those are actually on the base version of the game now. which is a much better thing. So it's like something to be celebrated. But it has also sparked some conspiracy theories of people saying this might have been what they've intended to do all along, because now it draws a lot of positive attention to them, because look at how good we are. We're giving you this thing for free. It was supposed to be on the deluxe version, but now you're getting it for free. Look at how good we are. Which might also be a possibility. I don't know. It might just be a response to the backlash, because, the gaming community has become much more vocal over the last couple of years, and backlash seems to be much more effective at curbing poor business practices. If only we could just unite and keep doing that for poor business practices,
Yeah, I mean, the greed in the gaming industry, I think, is the biggest issue for me, right? The fact that the greed just never seems to calm down. Like, these people just does not stop. They just keep going, keep being greedy as hell, and they don't seem to be anywhere close to just asking simple questions. Like, for example, why would you ever think this is a good idea? Why would this ever in a million years seem like a good idea to you? You know? But hey, it is what it is. This is where we are now. I think this is just another reason why you should go to AA and indie, because at least in that market space, there's still a lot of companies that genuinely make games for the love of the game, and end
Like
up making a
Silksong?
hell of a lot of money.
Like Silksong, who sold their game for $20, and then people complained about it like, it's too cheap. Should be more expensive. Yeah. Now it's going to be hard for me. I was like, no, bro.
But guess what? They made their money.
Yeah.
They're very happy with the money that they make.
Make a good game. Make a good game. Yeah. Sell it at a reasonable price. People will buy it. It's really just that simple. So, a couple more things.
Entering Ruri's corner.
Couple more things. I finished Hell Is Us.
Nice.
Hell Is Us is really, really good when it comes to the story bits. The combat bits did end up being a little bit more disappointing. Actual different boss fights from the traditional combat. There's like 2 of them, and then there's like some special variations on some enemies that are a little bit different from regular enemies, but like real boss fights, there's like 2 of them, which is like, it's not really enough. Now, it took me 40 hours to finish the game, maybe a little bit more than 40 hours, but that's also because I was playing max difficulty with respawns. I don't think the game was designed with respawns in mind, which is why it's an option, and by default, respawns is turned off, which I think makes sense.
Okay.
But, I finished it, and I thought it was really fun. I really enjoyed the story, and I actually think that you would really, really be into that game. Just like play it on normal or something, because just the story and experiencing the environment and all of that, it was really good. And there's a neat little twist at the end that I didn't really see coming. Some people have told me, I absolutely saw it coming from a moment when I was like, okay, I didn't. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, you get some people, but I just want to point out that there are movies and games, right, where I said, I did not know that is what was going to happen. And then I've had people go, oh, what? Dude, I could see it from the very beginning. What do you mean? I'm like, oh, really? When was this so obvious to you? Like, what moment was it that convinced you? And then they start, but it was just, yeah, most people that say, oh, no, I knew from the very start, are just full of shit. And they don't want to admit that, I was also surprised that this had actually happened. I'm not saying that there aren't people that maybe...
It's a good thing.
Yeah, like it's working as intended, right?
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I think a lot of people... I'm not saying that there aren't people who... You get people that's really sharp. My dad, for example, is one of those people where he loves watching detective movies, but he also hates watching detective movies because he figures out the crime like within the first 10 or 15 minutes, and then he doesn't want to watch anymore because he now already knows it. So he just watches to confirm that he was actually right at the end of the movie. So for him, it's a bit of and he's good with that shit, right? But then there are also stories where he's not that good, where he doesn't understand even what is the plot of this movie because it's too convoluted or whatever. So everyone's sort of different, but most people, I think, are just full of crap. They don't want to admit that, I didn't see it coming. So, man, it's okay. if you didn't see it coming, that's perfectly fine.
But yeah, then the other one
tell me
is,
about Deep of Night.
Deep of Night. Bro, I've been playing Deep of Night. I'm so addicted to this mode. This is
a scary game, isn't it?
No, this is Night Rain. Elden Ring Night Rain.
Oh, right. Yeah, you told me about that. Okay, never mind.
Deep of Night is a new mode that they've added, which makes everything harder, basically. Everything is just harder, significantly harder, and it keeps getting harder the more you play it because there's like this depth system. So every time you go through the game and you beat, a boss, you gain like points. It's like, okay, 200 points. And then you go and you go up to depth 2, for instance. So you start on depth 1 and you make like 1,000 points. So that's like 5 victories usually. And you go to depths 2. Then depths 2, everything is harder. Again, even harder than in depths 1. And now there's even more red enemies and more things that can kill you and whatnot. And it's just like it gets harder and harder. Now bosses can become Everdark as a surprise. So Everdark is like a much harder version of a boss. So you're getting ready to fight a boss, and then so it's like, surprise, it's the Everdark version. And you're like, what the fuck? You just get wrecked. So I've been having a blast with that. And here's the funny bit. If you lose, then you lose points and you go down depths.
That's gonna make people rage, bro. That's gonna make people rage.
So it's like I managed to reach depth 3 and then died and got back to depth 2.
But you see, this is the thing. This is why I understand why they did that, right? Because they want to put stakes on losing. But losing, and this is what a lot of game developers never understand, losing is already its own punishment. Because you wasted 15 minutes of your time. You lost. You're disappointed. You don't need to add another negative effect. Right? But World of Warcraft did this with the Mythic Plus system.
Okay, wait, that's
where they said, no, it's not enough for you to just not make the dungeon and not get the gear. No, we're also going to downgrade your key. And that drove people insane, right?
Yeah,
because it's like,
loser.
Dude, I also don't like losing. I already don't like losing, so I'm already punishing myself for losing this. Now you're punishing me as well on top of it. Just don't do that, right? So my advice to them would be... You get what you
fucking deserve.
No, my advice to them would be make losing, just part of the game. But don't take away points. Or at least make it so that you have to lose a lot before you actually go down to another level, right?
No.
So that there's...
You lost, you good. Like, listen, I lost only 50 points, and it instantly took me back down. 50 points. Usually when you win, you get like 200. So I lost 50 points and they were like, fuck you, back to depths 2, motherfucker. I was like, thank you. Can I have another one, please?
Man. No,
my biggest complaint about Deep of Night is that there's too much RNG with relics, which is the things that you get between progression. Because like when you're playing a roguelike, usually you get like a tech tree or something that you can kind of like, oh, okay, I want to specialize in this thing. But in Night Rain, it's random. It's like, hey, here's these relics. Good luck. Hopefully you get a good one. And on top of it, in Deep of Night, a lot of the relics come with negative effects as well. So oftentimes you get like a really good relic, but then it has something like, if you're below max HP, you are now poisoned. And you're like, well, fuck.
Oh, wow.
So you take a hit and you're poisoned. It's like, well, shit. I mean, it's not exactly like that because it's like a gauge that fills up and then you become poisoned, but you get an idea. You always have to be maxed out on HP, so that becomes kind of a problem. And then sometimes they even come with contradicting effects. Like a friend of mine got a rune the other day, which said, so long as you're at max HP, you deal more damage. And then it came with the downside that you have continuous HP loss. So it's impossible for you to be at max HP because you're always losing HP. It's like, well, what's the point of this fucking relic, dude? It's worthless.
So you're probably going to need another relic that always makes you gain health or some shit.
No, it's just random. It was just like a bad combination of affixes and prefixes and suffixes or whatever. So because it's random.
I see what you mean, yeah.
So that is one of the problems. And so I kind of feel like they need to come up with some way to deterministically craft certain things, because right now I am being very hard gated over the relics that I have, because like my friends have relics that, oh, if I defeat an invader, I get 7% more damage, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to have that, but I don't have that, and there's no reliable way for me to get that, so fuck me, I guess.
Rurikhan has one that makes him move 0.1 meters faster, but also every time he gets an invader, he loses 10% damage.
Dude, you know what happened the other day? The other day, we got invaded by Margit, who we can get invaded by Margit while we're playing the game. So Margit invaded, chose me as the target, and my team was fighting like a bunch of invaders. So I'm like, okay, guys, I'm going to peel Margit away so that he doesn't fuck with you and he stays on me. And so I'm running with Margit on my ass, just like throwing knives, fucking me up 6 ways from Sunday. And they're like, oh yeah, we need to get a grace. And I'm like, bro, I need fucking help. So they're like trying to clear a camp so that we can get a grace. And eventually when they were coming back to help me, Margit fucking kills me. And here's what happens. The downside of getting killed by Margit, you now take 30% more damage. And then Margit leaves. Margit literally goes in there, kills me. Now I take 30% more damage and is like, peace out, bitches. I'm out. And he fucking leaves.
What? Man.
That's why we lost, because like I was basically being one-shot by everything. After that, I was like, oh, this is great, guys. I love it. It's fantastic. I just get a fucking 30% debuff for the rest of the run. But it's hilarious.
No, but I think that's the point, right? If you get to a place where you're not taking it too seriously,
no, of course,
this kind of stuff can make it super fun and super funny.
It's
and I think that's maybe
story.
the difference between. Yeah, but I think that's maybe the difference between this game and say something like Mythic Plus, right? In World of Warcraft, where it is more casual. It's only 15 minutes, which means you can quickly get back in and just have more fun.
Did you say 15 minutes? No.
Or it's something what you said before.
You got the wrong game. It's 40 minutes. It's almost the same as a Mythic dungeon. Aren't Mythic dungeons about 40 minutes?
Yeah, but you're not playing with 4 other people.
I'm playing with 2 other people.
Yeah, but these are your friends. This isn't some random group of people that you invite, and one person can basically ruin your entire run by just going, no thanks, I'll just leave here. So there is a slight difference there. Also, the entire game is just this one mechanic. It's not like in WoW where a lot of people are doing Mythic Plus so that they can go raid, right? Yeah. So they're actually doing the Mythic Plus for other reasons. They don't want to do the Mythic Plus. They're just... So I think that makes it a little different, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't like negative effects. I feel like negative effects are way too punishing. I haven't played Night Rain yet. And at this point, I probably never will. Or maybe I will. I mean, it took me almost 2 years to finally get Elden Ring. So maybe in another year and a half, I'll finally pick up Night Rain and start playing it when no one's playing it anymore. I still haven't bought the Helldivers.
Oh, Helldivers is really good. I mean,
I want to play it, but I keep getting busy with other shit, and then I'm like, dude, a game that I genuinely want to play, and
I never played it yet. I mean, I've played it, I haven't finished it.
Yeah, I haven't finished it either. I'm still stuck in Act 3. Because Act 3 sort of gets boring. Because once you hit Act 3, I won't spoil anything, but once you hit Act 3, there's just one quest left. But you can't immediately go do that quest. You're way too low level. So now the game opens up, and you basically just have to go around and level up. Right, so you're just clearing dungeons, killing stuff in order to level up. It's not that great. I don't like that. I like the story. I like this being late through the game. I hate this open world nonsense of go and find ways to level up. I hate that. But hey, it is what it is. I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's it for today.
That's today's show.
Really appreciate all of you. Really appreciate all of you for watching. If you watched up until now, let us know in the comments by literally, and I want you all to just do this. Comment and say, POO Game. Just that.
Listen.
Poo, P-O-O,
The
Game.
Salvagers love you guys, okay? That's all you need to know. The Salvagers are here for you.
There you go, boys. But the reason I want you to do this is it's going to be funny to people who do not watch until now, going into the comment section and being like, Poo Game?
Poo Game.
Which game was that? Yeah, which game was that? What game was dog poo? So just write Poo Game if you made it until this point. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be good to each other, be kind to each other, and we shall see all of you in the next one. Peace.